Let's talk about summer in Disney World and how you and your family can combat the rain and the heat of summertime during hurricane season and the hottest time of the year. And the first thing I want to talk about is fans, because if you have a good quality fan, it can really make a huge difference. And right now I'm going to show you my favorite one, and it is this misting fan. Now, all misting fans are not created equal. Some have bigger mist, some are those ones that like the mister comes out from here. So it's just, you're going to want a misting fan that has a very fine mist where the mist is going to come out from the middle of the fan, because when the fan is going, you want it to blow that mist on you. So I highly recommend not getting the kind that Disney sells and the kind that you can find in like the dollar store and stuff that are like the squirter ones. That is just going to literally just squirt water on your face. You're going to wind up getting drenched unless that's what you want. But what I love most about these misting fans, and this one is those fine mist one, it really can cool you down significantly without feeling wet. That's what I love most about it. And the greatest thing about these is they have this little reservoir here where you put the water in, and this one actually comes with a little squeezy. So what I recommend doing is going to a quick service, or even taking it from your cold water bottle, is getting some ice water. You can get free ice water from the quick service. Go and get that free ice water, soak it up with this, and then put it into the reservoir. So if you have that nice cold, ice cold water, it's going to feel almost kind of like AC is blowing at your face or on your neck. It is going to cool you down significantly. So I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a misting fan like this. This one is great. It kind of folds like this as well. So you can actually have it sitting on a table if you're sitting down and trying to rest, or you're just done eating and you just need a break, and it can sit there on the table and blow that mist at you. And then these types of misting fans also come in a stroller fan as well. And those have those like spider legs that can grab onto your stroller handlebar and then have that same misting feature, because a lot of people think, oh, a stroller fan is for the kid in the front that you're pushing, which is true. Everybody should have their own fan, especially one like that. But I highly recommend getting 2 stroller fans, one for the child in the front and then one for the person pushing it, mounting it on the handlebars in the front and pointing it at you. So when you are walking, you don't have to worry about holding one and pushing your stroller at the same time. This way, you're walking around pushing the stroller and it is just coming right at you, cooling you down. So that is a huge, huge plus. And I honestly think this is the #1 item to have to fight the heat in Disney. So I just wanted to quickly go over a couple of other fan options. Some people really, really love neck fans. These kind just go literally just right on your neck, and then the air, oh, I have it on upside down. See these airflow pieces here? The air is going to flow from here up to your face. Now, we tried these, and personally, I didn't really like it, and my husband didn't like it either. I just did not like having something around my neck. Even though it was blowing air, it just wasn't really beating the heat for me, because I feel like having that heavy, it feels heavy after a while on your neck and your shoulders. So when you're hot, the last thing you want is to have something feel heavy on you. And I feel like it was just like the air blowing up here. It was loud. I just didn't like it. I did not like it. So I wound up just not using it after the first hour, I would say. I wanted to give it a fair try, and my husband and I both just did not like it. The other fan that I absolutely love to use are these little Mickey fans. These are great for when it's not tremendously hot. you know, like when before it's reaching that like sweltering, like you feel like you're gonna melt hot, these actually really do work well. And these can also work well, you know, just to kind of have like in your bag if you want to keep your bigger Mr. Fan. You know, when you have your stroller, and you can just keep one of these small little ones in your bag when you're waiting in line for a ride. These are great to just have to just like cool down a little bit. You know, if the misting fan is too big to fit in your bag, these work great for that. Also, the kids tend to really like to play with these ones too. So just having them have their own just to play with and fan themselves is a great option as well. So I just quickly wanted to touch on what happens if someone in your family starts to feel really, really, really hot and sick because they're hot. There are some things that you want to keep in mind. Always stay hydrated. Always, always, always make sure everybody in your family, in your party is drinking tons of water. I know that that makes you have to use the bathroom a lot, but you want to stay hydrated. That's the number one thing. So having a good stainless steel reusable water bottle is essential when you are going to Disney in the summertime. And there are so many different types of water bottles that you can choose from. I like the one from Ello. I'll have that link down below. I'm going to have all this stuff linked down below, so that one will be down there too. Those are the kinds that we use, but I know everybody likes to have their own type. Don't give your kids those plastic water bottles. In the summer, those are not going to stay cold. And then a lot of times it can give it that like plasticky taste because the sun is kind of like emitting the plastic into the water. It's not a good idea to have plastic water bottles sitting out in the sun. You're going to want your kids to have nice cold water, and those stainless steel reusable water bottles will keep them cold for a long time. And you can just go to a quick service and fill it up with ice. My family always has water bottles delivered to our resort room, and we actually bring a cooler backpack to keep those water bottles in. Now I know this is hard if you don't have a stroller with you, but we do have a stroller with us, so we just, you know, we can use the stroller to carry these heavier bags with us. If I didn't have a stroller, I would consider putting the cooler bag in a locker possibly, and just filling up our reusable bottles with free ice, and then, you know, going to the lockers to fill up our water bottles. It's a little bit of a hassle, but for me, it does beat buying a $4 water bottle in the park. But just a reminder, you can always get free ice water from a quick service. Not everybody likes the taste of Florida water, but if you are in a pinch and someone is really needs to drink water, go get a free water from a quick service. They can deal with the taste. They need that hydration. It's also important to think about bringing an electrolyte to put in your water. My husband and I use the Noon tablets. I'll have those linked down below. They have a lot less sugar than some other brands. We have used Liquid IV in the past. We love the flavor. Sometimes it can be a little bit easier than the tablets because it dissolves quicker. The tablets do take a couple of minutes. So if you're really in a pinch and you need it now, having the powder form is also a good option. But I'll have both of those linked down below because it really is important to have those electrolytes, because you're probably not going to drink as much as you probably should. So having those electrolytes in your water will give you that extra hydration that your body really needs in the summertime. So I wanted to talk about this product. These are actually cooling patches that you can put on your forehead or on the back of your neck. If someone in your family or your party is starting to feel a little bit like really, you know, faint because they're so hot, these are cooling patches. They come like this. You can also use these for like if someone has a fever or things like that. So these kinds of things are always nice to have anyway, but they just stick right on your forehead or on the back of your neck, and it cools you down. It stays cold for like 8 hours or something like that. So if someone is starting to like you can't cool them down, they're not feeling better, stick one of those on and it should help. And if that really is happening, I would stick one of those on and probably go to the first aid center. They can really help out with that, or get into some AC or, something like that. You don't want anybody to pass out because they're so hot, which does happen in Disney World. So pay attention to everybody in your family. Make sure everybody's good. Keep note of your kids, how they're acting. Have things like this on hand so that it can help when you're in a pinch. And things that you can do to kind of get yourself out of the afternoon when it's super, super hot. And most of the time, it's going to storm and really torrential downpour at this time of day. So it's kind of a good idea to have something planned for that 2-3 o'clock time slot where it's super hot. I highly recommend planning a sit-down meal around this time. So it can be like a late lunch or a super early dinner or, whatever you want to make it as. Have one of those meals planned. It will get you out of the heat for a long period of time. It's not just a quick service meal. You're sitting down, you're enjoying the meal, you're cooling off, you're getting some nice ice cold water, you're getting some food, and you're sitting in the AC and you're taking a break. And some of these sit down meals, especially if you're doing like character dining, they can take like an hour and a half or something like that. It's a perfect time for you and your family to take a break. And in the same way, if you don't want to have a sit-down meal, I highly recommend leaving the park for an hour or two during that time, either going back to your resort to kind of take a break, cool down, or checking out one of the resorts that are near the park where you're at. This is the perfect time to do some resort hopping, take your time in some resorts, look around, check out the gift shop, do some pin trading, eat at their quick service if you don't want to do a table service meal, but it's a perfect opportunity. Even if you're at Animal Kingdom where there's really only Animal Kingdom lodges around, it's a very, very quick bus ride right over to Animal Kingdom Lodge. They have some great food options. It's a really nice resort to just go walk around inside, and then you're in the AC and you're taking a break. Maybe it'll start downpouring, and then by the time it's done, you can go and head back to the park, or if you have park hopper, you can go ahead and move on to your next park. So talking about all these torrential downpours and rain, it's going to happen in the summer. It's just going to happen. So you need to be prepared. So obviously, you're going to want to get either ponchos or rain jackets. Everybody has their own opinion on what they like more. Personally, I like to just bring a poncho. When I'm home, I obviously prefer a rain jacket or an umbrella, but ponchos are just so much easier to pack. They're going to be smaller and lighter, and you can just stuff them in a wet bag, which is what we do, because that will prevent the wet poncho when you're done with it to get everything else that you have wet. So bring those wet bags with you and stuff those wet ponchos right in there, and then you can just easily take them back out if you need to. And if you have a stroller, you're going to want a stroller rain cover. Don't miss this part, because in the summer, you're going to want to keep that rain cover on top. Like, you're going to want to put it over your stroller, and then if it's not raining, just kind of pull it back and have it up by the handlebars, because you never know when it's going to rain in the summertime. When you park your stroller and you're going into a ride or a dinner, put the rain cover down over your stroller, even if it's bright sunshine, because you just never know when those summer rainstorms are going to come. And the last thing you want is to come back from wherever you were and your stroller is soaking wet and now your kid can't sit in it or your bags are wet. Don't let that happen. Get a stroller rain cover and keep it on your stroller all the time. And I'm going to show you the one that we have because I actually really like the design of this one, and I'm going to show it to you right now. So this one is in a wet bag. We bring wet bags all the time. Definitely invest in a bunch of wet bags if you don't already have them. So this one just folds up into this wet bag. Now the only thing is that this one does, like, as you can see, like, I have to keep it like this. It doesn't kind of like scrunch up like some of the other ones, but I really, really love this one. And I'm going to show you why I love it so much. Okay, so as you can see, first off, it's got this like shade here, and that actually keeps the sun out of your kid's eyes. So I know that when you're walking around and it's raining or it's lightly raining, sometimes the glare from that sun that's like peeking out can be a lot. So that's what this does, is protect them from the sun. And what I also love about this one is that when it sits over the stroller, right, it sits over like this, it actually has a zipper that unzips. It's already unzipped right now. So all you do is you unzip it and you can actually pull this back so that it stays on the stroller, but your kid is out. So sometimes it might be one of those days where it's raining on and off, and taking the stroller cover over all the time can be a little bit of a nuisance. So this way, it stays on and your kid is sitting in the stroller and they can be out in the open, because if you keep them in like this and it's not raining and you're in the summer, they're going to overheat. It can get really, really hot inside those plastic rain covers. So that's what I love about that one so much, is that you can open it and then they have some fresh air, and also keep those stroller fans inside the rain cover. So they are getting that a little bit of airflow, because it does get really hot under there. And that's what I also love about this one too, is that it has these like side vents, so that when it is completely over them and you have that fan going, they are getting some airflow. So it's going to keep them a little bit cooler. So I know I mentioned that when I'm home, I love to use an umbrella. Like, I'd rather use an umbrella. And that is something that you can bring to Disney. Umbrellas are not banned. Some people think that, oh, you're in Disney, you're in crowds, you can't have an umbrella. That's not true. You actually can have an umbrella. You just have to be, careful of knocking into other people. And I personally really like to bring an umbrella like this, because this silver lining is actually UPF. So it's UV protection from the sun as well. So that's what I love about this, is that we've used this actually in Disney Springs, where we were waiting for like a restaurant reservation and we were outside the restaurant and there was no shade anywhere and it was really hot. You just put this umbrella up and it blocks you from the sun. So I absolutely love this. And obviously it also works as a rain umbrella as well. So these are great, and they're small enough that you can fit them in your little bag, or wherever you want to keep it. You can hang it. These things have like hanging straps, so you can hang it from your bag or your stroller or whatever. However you want to keep it. And speaking about all of those wet bags, I also like to bring gear that can help my kids kind of get wet in those like little misting, like those like misting things that they have at some restaurants, and also like the play areas like Casey Jr.'s splash play area in Magic Kingdom, also Moana's Journey of Water. Now is the time in the summer for them to just get wet and cool down. And you really have to think about that, because now you have the whole rest of the day when they're soaking wet. So what I like to do is I like to bring water shoes with me, as well as a change of clothes. So before they go into these areas, get their water shoes on, and have them go in, and then you have a change of clothes with you, some dry clothes that you can change into afterwards, unless they don't mind or you don't mind them walking around soaking wet. But the shoe thing is definitely something that you should think about, because if they're wearing, especially if they're wearing like tennis shoes with socks, that's not going to be fun for them to walk around in wet shoes and socks. So either bring maybe like a pair of Crocs or water shoes that they can change into, for them to go run around and get wet, and then they can put their socks and tennis shoes back on when they come out. So another good thing to have with you is just like a small little like hand towel that you can dry their feet when they come out, so you can easily put those socks and tennis shoes back on. So now, even though I don't like them, I am going to mention, because a lot of people swear by them, and those are cooling towels. They are just a certain type of towel that you wet with cold water and you wring it out, and then it keeps you cool. Now, it does work. It does. I've used them. It does work. It keeps you cool. But I just feel like I don't want something like getting me wet. I think that's why I love the misting fan so much, is that I feel like it takes the place of all those other things, of the cooling towels, of the neck fans. It takes the place of that, because it's giving you that really cold air that you need, like that wet, cold air that the cooling towel is supposed to be doing, right? So it's giving you cold wetness. Really does help. So I have in the past used it where I kind of like dab my face when I'm feeling really hot, but honestly, the misting fan takes care of that. I feel like if you have a misting fan like that, and like I said, you put that cold water in the reservoir, that's really all you need. For me, for personally, I feel like that's all I don't need a cooling towel. I don't need a neck fan. It really does help tremendously. So as long as I have hydration, as long as I have electrolytes for my drink and my misting fan, I really, really feel like it helps so, so much. So another thing to think about is when you are wearing those shorts and, summer clothes, you're going to have body parts that are going to be rubbing together, and mixing that with the heat and the sweat is not fun. So you're going to want to get yourself some Body Glide, and you're going to want to rub this in all the places that will rub against something else. So not just skin. Put it on your inner thighs where your skin's going to rub together, but also think about putting it in like where your underwear is rubbing against your skin, or your undershirt's rubbing against your skin, or if you're wearing a tank top and your armpits are rubbing. Really just put it anywhere. And it's better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to bring this with you and then wait until something starts irritating you and then put it on. Just put it on wherever you're rubbing together. Just do it. Just put it on, please, because it's going to really help you. And you might even want to bring this to the parks with you, because if you're sweating and stuff, it might start, fading or something like that. So you might want to just like run to the bathroom and reapply. I mean, it really is a good idea to bring something like this. And on the same note, depending on the shoes that you're wearing, if you're wearing like sandals or, where your feet are going to be rubbing against your sandal, you're going to want to get some moleskin to put on all those areas that are rubbing. That is really going to help, because if your feet are not with it, it's not going to be fun. So bring some moleskin, get some Body Glide, and really help yourself to not be miserable. In addition to bringing the Body Glide in to the park with you, you might also want to consider bringing one of those little mini deodorants with you. I don't think I really need to explain that, but it might be a good idea when you go to the bathroom in the middle of the day. Just kind of like refresh yourself in all those ways, and that will help out a lot. So other ways that you can kind of help combat the time that you're going to be in the heat is to try to splurge and get lightning lanes for your trip. For every park day that you have, lightning lanes are going to be your best friend, because that way you're not standing in crazy long lines, especially the ones that are outside. And also, if you're going to be doing a break in the middle of the day, the lightning lanes will help your time schedule, where you're not spending all this time waiting in line. This way, when you take your break, you're still going to have plenty of time to get to those rides and do all those other things that you want to do. So that does it for this video. I hope it helped you out, and let me know down in the comments if you're headed there this summer, what your favorite item is to bring to help keep you cool, what schedule you're going to be doing to help combat the heat, and go ahead and like this video if it helped you out in any way, and until next time.